CWU postal members in Royal Mail have taken the first national strike action since 2007 in a dispute over the modernisation of the company, job security and other key issues. After a series of long negotiations, the strikes were finally brought to an end after the members of the CWU National Executive were able to reach an agreement with Royal Mail.
CWU is pleased to announce this evening that we've suspended the strike action that was planned for Friday and Monday, and also that we've reached an interim agreement. That agreement was unanimously agreed by the members of the union's postal executive, and what it will mean is that we can now have a period of calm where we can jointly take forward modernisation in a way that puts the union at the centre of the changes that need to be introduced. So we're pleased with the agreement that's been reached. We know that there's a lot of hard work that still remains, and we're committed to doing that in a way that can ensure the service is restored properly. And we're pleased that our members will now be able to get back to working normally. We know how difficult it's going to be for them, and we're going to give them our full support in achieving that aim. Thank you very much.
Last-ditch talks have taken place between the CWU and BT aimed at finding a solution that would save jobs in complex volume and service. The talks produced an agreed way forward which was put to members for ballot. The result of the ballot on the attendance framework and assurances on Project Beck concluded with an overwhelming yes vote.
Well, there's 78% turnout in the ballot. The first time we've done an electronic ballot of this magnitude is really excellent turnout, and to have a good positive result the way we did is obviously excellent news for us. There's a lot of negotiations still to go on, and as much as the discussions at local level. And what we have already got assurances from BT Openreach on this is that they will make sure that people's personal circumstances are taken into consideration on this, and actually they're going to take in social considerations. People do have lives outside working from BT, and BT have now said quite clearly they're going to take that into consideration when the people now have to work some Saturdays and some late evenings.
For more information, please visit the CWU website cwu.org. The CWU's Delivering Digital Britain campaign is seeking more ambitious targets for the government's Digital Britain proposals. The CWU is calling for a legally binding universal service obligation for broadband. That would see 100% of homes and business have access to broadband by 2017, instead of the current target of 90%.
We think that the ambitions for 2017 can be achieved before that. We've been in discussions with the major companies in this country. We've got them on board. If we can get them on board, it seems that we just need to convince some people in government, and I think we can do that with the help of the MPs. So altogether, it's been a welcome week in Digital Britain. I think it's great for this country, and for the Labour government. It's a vote winner.
The CWU also believes it's essential that the communications workforce has access to the necessary skills and training to ensure the successful delivery of the Digital Britain objectives.
That is an aspect that's missing at the moment in Digital Britain report. We are hopeful it's going to be in the bill. We have already had discussions with both Ben Bradshaw, who's the Minister for Culture, Media and Sport, and with Stephen Timmins on this issue. We will continue to have these discussions, and there's a possibility, we think there's a real possibility we can achieve that aspect too.
Capita TVL staff will be receiving above-inflation pay rises in October after a deal negotiated by the CWU was overwhelmingly endorsed in a recent ballot.
Inflation is a minus position at the moment, minus 1.3, and yet our members are going to get a pay rise, a positive pay rise, and that clearly has to be good news for all, and that's been recognised by the members in the ballot.
A welcome turn of events at Sitel has resulted in the threat of 100 redundancies at Dundee being overturned, and news that all those working on the BT account at the Sitel sites at Dundee and Newcastle call centres will transfer to BT. It's expected that the transfers will take place on a phased basis between the end of October and March next year. Alliance and Leicester, now part of the Santander Group, has announced the closure of its Heritage House site in central Leicester and 200 more job losses across 2 Leicester sites. CWU's described the losses as a bitter blow.
The main thing that we've done is ensured that Alliance and Leicester has maintained a voluntary approach to job losses. Its focus is on achieving job losses by voluntary means, by relocation, retraining and redeployment of staff, rather than just tapping people on the shoulder and going down the compulsory route.
The announcement of the site closure coincides with other announcements of further job losses from both the Heritage House and Carlton Park staff, caused by the continuing integration of A&L into the Santander operation. However, some work will be moved to other Santander UK sites.
The GP transfers within Santander do pose us with challenges. Obviously, we're now facing multiple bargaining units in what was a single bargaining unit situation. And dealing with new managers and new company approaches to issues. However, I think our strength in terms of our organisation is going to protect our members in the long term. We're a well organised union in Alliance and Leicester, and we're moving well organised members into new companies. So I think we can face the challenges and do a good job for our members going forward.
The Communication Workers Union has reacted with dismay at news that the government will delay the implementation of the Agency Workers Directive, which is designed to strengthen the rights of agency and temporary workers, until 2011.
There are thousands of agency workers that we represent that are working alongside permanent workers that are actually receiving less pay and less terms and conditions of employment. We've been campaigning relentlessly over the last few years or so for equal treatment for these workers, and at the European level we have achieved that, which is good. Unfortunately, it's taking longer than we expected, and the Queen's speech announced yesterday that this legislation won't actually be introduced right up until the wire, the last moment that the government can actually introduce it, which is October 2011. Now that's disappointing, and that's a real concern to us, because thousands of our own members won't be eligible for equal treatment until that time. That there are other areas that are giving us concern, primarily around where a role may change, that if it is substantively different, then that will put the clock back to day one. So therefore, you could actually be working in the call centre doing one job and qualify for equal treatment on the 12th week of working, and then if they move you to another job, you could actually go back on inferior terms and conditions. We think that that will create a loophole for the employment agencies and indeed the hirers, the end users, to be able to circumvent equal treatment, and that's one of our major concerns.
Billy Hayes, CWU's General Secretary, said this is more about the government dragging their feet and playing politics by appeasing business groups than protecting the welfare of agency workers. Quadrant workers have received above-inflation wage rises of 2%, backdated to April, after almost three-quarters of members back the pay deal achieved by the union in the summer.
We was delighted to secure an agreement for our Quadrant workers, a 2% pay rise, backdated, and also to other union policy. We managed to increase maternity leave from 29 weeks full pay to 30 weeks. Those are the real headlines of the deal, if you like, from a member's perspective. But it was a bigger agreement for us, the union, because we also secured arrangements which would ensure that the trade union would be strategically involved and far more involved in business decisions going forward for a process that we call the Table of Success process, which is one that we've taken out of Parcelforce. And to repeat, it's very important for us going forward. We've never had it in Quadrant before, but we will be dealing with the business at the highest level on the future direction of Quadrant.
A robust national agreement negotiated by the CWU will see opportunities opening up for members in Crown offices to earn extra cash as product sales specialists. The plan had originally been agreed in principle at the end of 2007, but its introduction has been delayed due to a change in its key criteria and to allow time for the financial service specialist roles to become established.
The union is encouraging our members to apply for these jobs, and the reason for this is that there is two distinct PSS roles in each Crown office, one for Mails Express work and one's for the suite of travel products. This is a big investment. Something like £750,000 can be earned from our members for improving sales in these two key areas. Obviously, by promoting sales in Express Mails, that can only be good news for other parts of the Royal Mail group in Parcelforce and Royal Mail.
POL HR Director Debbie Moore, with whom Andy Fury and his negotiating team developed the plan, described the new PSS role as another important step towards building a viable and successful Crown network for the future. Crown Office members have voted in favour of a new bonus system which is expected to be worth on average £850 to each. The sales incentive scheme will provide Crown Office members with the opportunity to receive quarterly bonus payments calculated according to sales performance and target criteria.
I'm very pleased that our members have endorsed the agreement by 3-1. That's an overwhelming, very convincing yes vote, and that means our members recognise that their job is about selling today. Our members need to engage the public to sell these products, but they will get a benefit in the sales they do. That's good news for the members, and it's good news to help retain and maintain a Crown Office network for the future, and it's about protecting jobs.
And for more info about CWU TV or any other issues raised in the programme, please visit the CWU website. That's simply cwu.org. Until next time, thanks for watching.